In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Brightspace Quick Eval tool. So what is it? Quick Eval is a Brightspace tool that pulls together or curates all student work that's waiting to be evaluated. So that's assignments, discussions, and quizzes. And it brings them all into one space so that they're easy to access, sort, shift through, filter, and prioritize in order to get at your marking. So I like to use the Lord of the Rings phrase, the one place to view them all, just like the one ring to rule them all. So when you get into Quick Eval, the links are all interactive as well. So it's not just a flat list, it's a quick access link. So how do we find this marvel? If it's not already on your nav bar, you can go to Course Admin and head down to assessment and you'll be able to pull up Quick Eval. But if you decide it's something you want to use, some people use it throughout the course. Others just put it on towards the end when they're finishing up their marking and they want to make sure that they get all stragglers. Either way, I like it a lot, so I add it to my nav bar. So I'm just going to show you how to do that quickly. So you just hover for those action ellipses at the end of the nav bar. Edit this nav bar if you've been in before. If it's your first time in, it'll ask you to make a copy of the nav bar so you have a unique instance for this course. And then we're going to go down to add a link. There we go. So it's always represented in Brightspace with that kind of thunderbolt symbol indicating zippy quick. I happen to prefer not having the icons on just because it leaves you a little more viewing room. So I'm just going to flip that off right now and save and close. So there are two main views in Quick Eval. There's a submission view and the activities view. Very easy to toggle back and forth. Let's take a quick tour through both of those. So right now, this little list of the pending work that I have to assess, oh my gosh, there's more of it. Always more. Ugh. It's sorted by the submission date, so that's when the student submitted it. You can also choose to sort it by activity name. And activities fall into three categories again. That's assignments, discussions, and quizzes. You've got this little icon to indicate which one. Piece of paper in a drop box is assignment. Little bubbles represent discussions, and little question marks indicate quizzes or tests. So the other way you can take a look at it is by student name. So you get a sense of, this is really good for of what work the student has submitted recently. This is really helpful for things like credit recovery when there's a little flurry of student work that's come in and you want to see how that's going. The other icon to notice here is that this work, while it still is not finished, it's not published, it has been looked at and is saved as a draft and ready to go. These other ones without an icon, they are fresh pieces of student submission that you haven't even touched yet. So you can click on any of these and it will take you directly into that particular assessment tool, kind of a familiar environment. This is our assignment assessment view. So same tools that you'd normally see. The only difference is you get this little back to Quick Eval thing zipping right in here. So it's our familiar, adding our grade here, adding our feedback, using the rich annotation tools that we're used to in Brightspace that are so handy. So we can see we've gone directly into this user's work. I can choose if I've made an assessment and this is looking awesome, and I've left some great feedback. I can save that as a draft, or if it's good to go back to the student, I can choose publish. When I go back out to Quick Eval, that piece will no longer be on our Quick Eval list because, hey, it's done. So that's one way to use Quick Eval with these dynamic lists. You can also filter up here to determine what you're seeing if you want to focus in on a specific activity. I particularly like the date field. You can go in and see, you think you're done all your marking, have a look. Is there anything, oh my gosh, I forgot all about Poor Elan. So go in and get that work done. So it helps find any kind of last minute. Or if a student sent you a desperate email, Miss, Sir, I just submitted something. last night and you're like, I don't know, well, what was it? Where was it? That gives you the most recent stuff, lets you know. So you can filter the work any which way. Just throughout the quad, I tend to leave Quick Eval in this activities view because I tend to mark each individual activity or maybe two or three of them out of a given week at any given time. So this view groups them together by activity. And again, those are assignments, discussions, and quizzes. And here you'll see the new material. So I really like that. I'm a bit of a marshmallow when kids will say, so an assignment's supposed to have been submitted, can I still submit it? And instead of kind of hunting and pecking and chasing after them, it pulls them all together here nicely. The other feature that's really interesting about this activities view in Quick Eval are these gauges. It lets you know this first column lets you know student completion. So these are my kids that have completed and percentage complete of is indicated on the gauge for each of the activities. This piece lets me know how I'm getting on getting started. How many of these have I evaluated? Have I gone in and left something with the rubric, left a grade, and it's sitting there in draft status. And this is our final accomplishment when we've published and sent the work out. And even then, it's not filing. It can still be retracted if you choose. So if we look at the evaluate all view, we can see a number of different students discussion work. Nothing yet from this student. The student has put in a couple of threads but hasn't replied to anyone else. This student has 3 threads and 1 reply, and I've already published here, and you can see there's her work and then all of the other posts and how it pulls it together really nicely. If I've reconsidered this, I can retract it and update it, but that's good to go. I'm back to Quick Eval. So you can see here in discussions how it works, very similar sort of environment in assignments and in quizzes. I find grading quizzes through Quick Eval and then publishing the work to students is easier here in Quick Eval than it is in quizzes. The interface is clear and it's easier to send your feedback off to students than it is in the original very large tool that is quizzes. I'm just going to see if there's anything else I missed up here. If you choose to, you can dismiss activities, say something's finished or you've chosen not to assess it or you finished publishing everything, you can dismiss an activity. This final thing I wanted to share with you, it's called Multi-Course Quick Eval, and it lets you see the marking that you need to do in all of your courses. And right now, because we're in a quad system, there's just 2 at a time. So I'm going to filter this down by course name, and I'm going to look at my English course that I'm teaching right now and my law course, say. So here it's showing me on one screen I've got some work that's been, I don't have any new things to mark in the law course, but I've got some that have been evaluated but not published, and I'll need to get at that. But that pulls it all together in one screen. And notice that I'm not sitting in my English course anymore. I'm sitting up at the TDSB level. Quick Eval is one of those tools that takes you up to that higher level, sort of like portfolio, where you can combine things from different courses. It literally, Quick Eval never changes anything in the original course or in the assignment. What it does is just pull it together. So oh, and one other thing about having Quick Eval on your toolbar, it's an example of a teacher-only tool. Students won't even see it on the toolbar. Just like Zoom, it's teacher-facing only. So when we view a student, they're completely oblivious to it because it's not a tool that they need to use. But what I found is they keep submitting their work to assignments, discussions, and quizzes instead of me hunting and pecking and going around and looking for it. As a teacher, using Quick Eval pulls it all into one place and really helps me prioritize what I need to work on and get that marking done. Hope you found this helpful. Take care.